particularly with his.
Het is een beetje oefenen dit, Ronnie, als reporter.
Ja,
een beetje...
ik weet het. Ja.
Want zometeen, kijk, nu is Jamie Shea, maar zometeen is het Obama. En dan heb je 1 seconde, hè?
Ja, dat is inderdaad heel spannend. Ik vind het nu ook al best wel spannend.
Kijk, nu staan er geen bodyguards bij, maar zometeen wel.
Ja, en dan moet ik het eigenlijk in 3 seconden mijn vraag gesteld hebben, anders dan is het moment voorbij. Dus,
Thank you very much for that charming introduction. The danger is at my age I might even start believing some of it.
Hij ziet er zo gezellig Londens uit, glaasje aan en water heeft het in de handen. Maar eigenlijk is deze man heel belangrijk. Hè?
Hij is behoorlijk belangrijk. Ja, hij is 10 jaar lang echt spokesperson van de NAVO geweest. En heeft ook bijvoorbeeld ten tijde van de Kosovo-oorlog heeft hij iedere dag was hij met zijn hoofd op televisie om verslag te doen van de NAVO-bombardementen van die dag. En hij heeft ook een PhD aan Oxford, dus het is zowel een geleerde man als een man van de praktijk en van de media. Dus iemand waar ik hopelijk nog veel van kan leren.
One of the things that we're going into Chicago with is this notion of smart defense, which implies that everything we were doing before was dumb. We've got to stop the duplication. Countries have got to specialize, for instance. We've got to together buy things like transport aircraft, tankers, satellite reconnaissance, that we can't afford alone. You know, we don't need in Europe so many different military academies.
You mentioned smart defense, and I was wondering, do you think that the idea that European countries will really cooperate and trust each other, do you think that's really credible? Is that going to happen anytime soon?
In many cases, countries that in the past perhaps had very different foreign policies, different views of NATO, you take the UK and France, have now in the Balkans, for example, in acting together in Libya, have come much closer together. Countries in Scandinavia, some in NATO, Norway, Denmark, some neutral, Sweden and Finland, are now doing operations together. Start with things where countries are less sensitive about their sovereignty. Things like training facilities, military academies, spare parts for aircraft, F-16s that they operate together. It may be more difficult to pull strike capabilities. They're more sensitive. So let's start with the stuff that's less sensitive.
But haven't we tried to do this modest variant of pooling and sharing of European defense for over 20, 30 years now? What's different this time?
Countries have continued to want to have their own capabilities at their disposal, rely upon their own efforts, and not really trust their European partners. So the hope now is that the impact of the financial crisis finally produces the shock therapy, if you like, that moves them towards not just talking about it, but actually doing something about it.
I have one final question for you. You are, of course, in charge of the Emerging Challenges, Security Challenges Division, which I think is very interesting for the people, for the young people in the Netherlands at home who will be facing those challenges in the future. I would like to know a lot more about that. Would it be okay for me to visit you in the near future and ask you some questions on that?
Yes, absolutely. We may have just a lot of offices and a lot of long corridors, and one bureaucracy always looks like any other bureaucracy. So it's not as if we have in the Emerging Security Challenges Division a command post or with lots of fancy equipment, lights flashing to show off. But absolutely, in terms of letting you know what we're doing on the policy side, the door is always open, especially for you.
Nou, uitnodiging geregeld, toch?
Ja, ik ga langs in Brussel op het NAVO-hoofdkwartier. Dus,
heb je zijn kaartje dan?
Sorry?
Heb je zijn kaartje dan?
Ik heb zijn kaartje al eerder gescoord, inderdaad. Dus ik weet alles wat ik moet weten. En we zien elkaar weer in Brussel.